right, so today we're going deep into the world of care workers in Britain.
Sounds good.
We've got some excerpts here from a day in the life of a care worker, and it just feels like such an important job. You know,
Absolutely.
making a real difference in people's lives, giving them companionship, and helping them keep their independence.
Yeah,
Pretty powerful stuff. So
it is.
are you ready to kind of step into the shoes of a care worker for a day?
Let's do it.
Okay, great.
Oh, yeah.
So one thing that really stood out to me in this source material was how much emphasis there is on dignity.
Right?
Not just like doing things for people, but doing things with them,
Absolutely.
helping them maintain that sense of control over their own lives.
It's so important. And it's easy to overlook that.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about care work, you think, okay, you're helping with the physical needs.
Right.
But really, it's about fostering that sense of dignity, like you said.
Right.
Helping someone choose their own outfit, even if it takes a little longer. Letting them make decisions about their own routine.
Mm-hmm.
These things might seem small,
Yeah.
but they're so crucial for a person's well-being, especially as we age.
Yeah, and I think that really comes through in these descriptions of the morning routine.
Oh, for sure.
You know, helping clients get out of bed, get dressed,
Yeah.
have breakfast, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's this mention of breakfast conversations.
Right.
And it's just struck me that it's not really about the food.
No, not at all.
It's about that social interaction.
Absolutely. For some clients, that might be the only real conversation they have all day.
Wow.
Just having that friendly face, someone who genuinely listens to their stories.
Right.
I mean, that can make a world of difference in
Yeah.
combating loneliness and isolation, which, as we know, is a serious health concern.
Yeah, actually, I didn't realize how important that was.
Oh, it's huge.
I mean, we all know it's nice to have company, but
Sure.
it sounds like it's really essential for some people.
It can be as detrimental to your health as smoking.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just about the physical tasks. It's about that emotional support as well.
Exactly.
And speaking of tasks, the source mentions housework,
Yes.
like hoovering and washing dishes and things.
Ah.
Those seem pretty basic.
Right.
But I guess for someone who's struggling with mobility issues or health problems,
Absolutely.
those things can be really difficult.
It's not just about cleaning. It's about restoring a sense of order and control for the client.
Right.
Imagine you can't physically manage to keep your own home tidy.
Yeah.
It can be really disheartening.
Yeah, I can see that.
So a care worker coming in and helping with those things, it allows the client to live with dignity and independence.
Right. It's about enabling them to live in their own homes comfortably.
Exactly.
Okay, so the morning is all about those personal connections
Yeah.
and kind of establishing a sense of normalcy for the client. But then what happens as the day goes on?
Well, things start to shift a little bit. The source mentions moving on to another client and focusing on meal preparation.
Okay.
And this is where it gets interesting.
How so?
Well, we're not just talking about making a sandwich here.
Right.
Elderly clients often have specific dietary needs.
Yeah.
Maybe they need softer foods or they have certain restrictions. Maybe they even need pureed meals.
Wow. So the care worker has to be aware of all of that.
Absolutely. They need to understand those nuances to
Yeah.
make sure the client is getting the proper nourishment.
It's almost like being a dietary detective then.
In a way.
Figuring out what works best for each individual.
Right?
And then there's the shopping trip.
Oh, yes.
I was fascinated by this part because it's about supporting independence, even in something as simple as buying groceries.
Exactly. Imagine a client with dementia trying to navigate a busy supermarket.
Right.
It can be totally overwhelming.
Yeah.
So the care worker is there to provide that steady presence, helping them find familiar items, make choices, and stay safe.
Right. It's about maintaining that connection to the outside world.
Exactly, and preserving their sense of self.
That's really powerful. And then in the afternoon,
Yes.
the source talks about outdoor activities like walks or trips to the laundrette.
Right.
And again, these seem so simple,
They do.
but I imagine they have a much bigger impact than we might realize.
Oh, absolutely. These outings are about so much more than just fresh air or clean clothes.
Okay.
They're about combating social isolation, providing gentle exercise, stimulating cognitive function.
Right.
Think about a walk in the park. It
Yeah.
engages the senses. It sparks memories. It encourages social interaction.
Right.
Even a trip to the laundrette can be a social outing.
Yeah.
A chance to chat with neighbors and feel part of the community.
It's amazing how these seemingly mundane activities become so vital when you look at them through the lens of a care worker.
It really is. It's all about perspective.
And as the day winds down, we see the care worker helping with dinner preparation, medication reminders, kind of wrapping things up for the night.
Those final moments of the day are so important.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, it's about reinforcing that sense of security and continuity for the client.
Right.
Imagine the peace of mind that comes from knowing someone is there to help you prepare a meal. Make sure you take your medication correctly.
Yeah.
It's not just about physical well-being. It's about alleviating anxiety and fostering a sense of peace as they settle in for the night.
Wow, it's incredible how much a care worker does in a single day.
It is.
It really is a lifeline for so many people.
And you know what's really striking is that as the population ages,
Yeah,
the need for care workers is only going to grow.
that's true.
These are the unsung heroes who make it possible for people to age gracefully, to remain in their homes surrounded by familiar comforts.
Right.
It's a profession that deserves so much more recognition and appreciation.
I completely agree. It's been really eye-opening to delve into this world.
It has.
And I guess my final thought for our listeners is this. What aspect of a care worker's day resonated most with you?
Good question.
What surprised you?
Yeah.
It's definitely giving me a whole new perspective on the profound impact they have on people's lives.
Me too.
So I encourage everyone to really think about that
Absolutely.
and maybe consider if this is a field that you might want to explore.
It's a rewarding career, for sure.
Yeah, it really seems like it. All right, well, that's our deep dive into the world of care workers in Britain.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all our listeners, thanks for tuning in.
See you next time.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.